everybody, and welcome to Virtual Church, brought to you as usual by our friends here at Beauty and Sound. Hi, I'm Richard McVeigh. Caroline's somewhere around. We've got Bobby and Nala, of course, who are going to undoubtedly cause havoc, and we have the very capable Josh Wilson tonight, who's keeping an eye on proceedings. So if there are any issues, please let please tag Josh and he will let me know directly. Just a quick shout out to some very generous people already who go by the name of Thomas. Thomas has donated to request a couple of hymns, or at least one hymn, and Robert, Mr. Solarski, who is in tonight, who very generously has donated a very generous gift. So thank you very much, Robert. We will of course play your requests later on. So before we get to that, we have some pre-requests. We also have some hymns that have come from deep within some very dark corners on the internet, which some of you may not know, some of you may know. I like to sort of go and find some hymns relevant for today's readings, gospel, psalm, whatever, but something that you may not know. So let's introduce you to something new. A top 5 coming your way, of course, and then we're going to have the live requests, including Nick Knacks, who's just requested From Strength to Strength. Thank you, Nick Knack. That's very kind of your donation. We'll get to that later on. So the first request came from James Mossop. It was, of course, Kofen. How shall I sing that majesty? Verse 4, though, is a descant, not as often heard as the main tune, but the descant, even though it uses the same harmony, is a descant by Naylor himself. Kenneth Naylor wrote that descant, and it's wonderful. Right, so onto a hymn that is well known. This is not from the dark depths, dark corners of the internet. This is actually a very popular hymn, and it is Come Thou Long Expected Jesus, to the wonderful tune by Stainer, which of course comes from his what? That's a quiz question to you as I'm playing this. From where does this hymn come? Of course, you identified it from coming from the Crucifixion by John Stainer. That was a very easy question to get you started tonight. Let me just give all of these very generous people a heart. There we go. Thank you very much, everyone who's donated so far tonight, and I apologise that I have not done the washing up and washed the BIS tip jar. That's very dirty, isn't it? I think they were from last week, and actually they are. I think they're also. I guess there'll be new members who've joined during the week as well. So the nalas that you see, they're all nalas, are donations. And then the no, that's not right. Oh, I don't know then. Yeah, I don't know. The BIS ones are the donations because they change colour depending on the donation, of course. So the more generous you are, the different colour it is. So with Robert was a red, Nick Nack was an orange, and James was a green. There we go. Oh no, we've lost one. Okay, so the next hymn comes in from Frimpong Katai Joseph. Almost certainly pronounced that name incorrectly, for which I apologise. It's a wonderful hymn. We all know this one. It's To God Be the Glory. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to play the tune that Frimpong is expecting, but I couldn't find another tune to this hymn. There's surely only one hymn to these words. I thought it was on here, but it's not on here. It's To God Be the Glory, great things he has done. I could have sworn it was on the BIS iPad. BIS hymnal. Luckily it's in the Common Praise, 609. So Frimpong actually suggested or requested another tune called Borden, but I couldn't find that and it didn't seem to fit these words. So we'll have it anyway. To God be the glory, great things he has done. Okay, let's have a go. Okay, so that was, of course, To God Be the Glory. As Bill Ratey rightly pointed out, I think it was Bill, apologies if it wasn't Bill, it might have been somebody else, it might have been Gregory actually. Words by Fanny Crosby. And tune, or the words, were at least requested by Frimpong. However, he did request another tune, but it didn't seem to quite fit. So apologies if that was the wrong tune. Okay, I'm going to go into a BIS favourite now, straight into it. 3 verses with a descant by James O'Donnell. Does feel rather odd playing that in F major, I must say. I always play that in G. It just sounds a bit brighter in G somehow. In F, I guess it is quite high. The congregation might complain, particularly first thing on a Sunday morning. You know, the old ladies, the old gentlemen may complain that they've been asked to sing rather high first thing on a Sunday when they've only just put the teeth in, and they've got still have morning coffee breath. What I thought. Anyway, let's move on before we carry on down that avenue. This is a request now that comes in from Jonathan Priest, who has asked for "The day thou gavest, Lord, is ended. The darkness falls at thy behest." A wonderful tune called St. Clement. And there are only 5 verses. They're over fairly shortly. It is a beautiful hymn, and let's enjoy it. Bill Ratey asks which sample set we're using. I'm very interested that the connoisseurs amongst you, you all know which sample sets I tend to use on VC. I'm very interested that there's a question around which one it is, which means to me that they sound rather good online, because, or do they all sound the same? I don't know. You tell me, which sample set do you think we are using today? Talking about sample sets, we are going through here at BIS a major upgrade of it's not really a major upgrade, but quite a hefty upgrade of the Romsey Abbey sample set. The interface is being changed, so people who use the organ will know what I mean when I talk about the interface. lost my voice there, but that was the interface of this sample set. When we are going through an update of the sample sets for Romsey, so you'll have a much better experience in the extended edition. We're changing some audio glitches and making it just generally even better than it already is. I am very pleased with it, but I do think there's always room for improvement in everything we do, including BIS sample sets. So a request has come in, you will not be surprised to hear, from Benjamin Yao, who has requested a hymn that he always requests hymn that I have never seen or heard before. So Benjamin, congratulations on that, on finding all of these hymns somewhere that I've never heard before, and I guess a lot of people haven't heard before, which I think is a good thing because it broadens our musical horizons, I suppose, our musical knowledge, our knowledge of hymns. He's requested one which goes, what a wonderful change in my life has been wrought since Jesus came into my heart. I have light in my soul for which long I have sought since Jesus came into my heart. Dominant seventh there, going into the refrain with the first note on a pause, since Jesus came into my heart. And it goes all a bit crazy in the refrain. I'll tell about the tune so we can get a feel for how it goes. Benjamin sent me 2 emails this week, one with the hymn attached to it. The second email was basically telling me not to play it too slowly. So let me know if I play it too slowly. Give me a thumbs up if you think the speed is right. Give me a thumbs down if you think I've completely bodged the tempo. And I don't bodge things, do I? Bodge it McVeigh. Bodget McVeigh had Choir to Great on when Choir to Great should not have been on. Naughty Choir to Great. There we go. It's rather fun, isn't it? Thank you very much, Benjamin, for requesting all of these wonderfully uplifting hymns. You always send in these hymns that always put a spring in my fingers. It's not quite the saying, but you know what I mean. Particularly the refrain, isn't it? Thank you very much, Benjamin, for that. Excellent stuff. Okay, so this is now where I get to present to you something that I've unearthed from one of these corners of the internet called hymnary.org. It's not that dark a corner of the internet, but it's me just trying to find some hymns that I think may not be well known, but that look of a suitable standard, of a suitable quality for virtual church. And this one certainly has pedigree. Okay, it's called Colchester. That's a UK town. The words are by S.S. Wesley, that's Samuel Sebastian Wesley, so it's already got pedigree. And the words are by Charles Wesley. So it's the dream team, basically, isn't it? Wesley and Wesley. What is it then? Well, it is this. And this is what I find, this is what I like playing these things, because a lot of people won't know it and a lot of people will know it. So, thumbs up for those who do know it and a thumbs down for those who don't know it. Don't worry, a thumbs down doesn't mean you don't like it, it's just that you don't know it. Maybe I should get a yes or a no emoji. So, here we go. Give me the faith which can remove and sink the mountain to a plain. Give me the childlike praying love which longs to build thy house again. Thy love, let it my heart overpower and all my simple soul devour. It looks like a beautiful tune and I can't wait to play it. I'm going to use the cornet on the grand orgue. Say it that. Grand orgue, in the French accent, of course, accompanied by the flutes. Make sure that I haven't got any rogue couplers on. Good. I've got at least one thumbs up here from Barry Richardson, who knows this one. That's at least one of you who know it. I don't. Let's have a go. general consensus then, just by sort of doing a very average rough tally, is that it was not well known. I can see Jonathan Priest did know it. I can see Eric, good chappy, Martin P, Heikki, Jim, Andrew, Patton, Nick Knack, Doug, Bill, Tim, Johan. I can see all these people who did not know it. Well, I can put myself into that camp and say I did not know that, but I think a very pleasant tune, as you'd expect from one of the masters of English church music, of course, Samuel Sebastian Wesley. So again, the tune was called Colchester. And the words were, "Give me the faith which can remove and sink the mountain to a plain." Plain. Okay, so let's go on now to a request which came in during the week from Daniel Kubaki, who, again, just like Benjamin, manages to send in, by and large, hymns which I've never heard before. This is definitely very much one of those examples. And the tune is called Sabbath, not the Black Sabbath. Safely through another week, God has brought us on our way. Let us now a blessing seek, waiting in his courts today. Day of all, the week, the best, emblem of eternal rest. Day of all, the week, the best, emblem of eternal rest. And the words there are repeated. So the words are by John Newton, and the music is by Laurel Mason. Question for you, whilst I'm playing this tune. I'd like to know what pre-recorded video that tends to go on during the week on BIS has been your favourite over recent months. Your favourite pre-recorded video that has gone on to BIS over the recent months. That doesn't include live broadcasts like the Organ Festival, for example. That's live. Virtual Church is live. The organ recitals that we do here are all live. But the pre-recorded video that goes on during the week, normally one video a week, which has been your favourite recently. Okay, I'd like you all to have a think about that and let me know, because that's really good for me to know that. Let's have a go at this one for Daniel Kubaki. Yes, very nice tune indeed. It's called Sabbath, Sabbath, and the words were, "Safely through another week, God has brought us on our way," as requested there by Daniel Kubacki. So I asked you a minute ago to just let me know which has been your favourite videos that I put on during the week. So pre-recorded videos. I had Brian say the recent videos from Blaenwern. There's a few more coming if you want to see those. Daniel Kubacki also said Blaenwern, so the Virgil Fox arrangement of Come Susa Todd, which is German for Come Sweet Death. Hazel Leacock simply says, "No eyeglasses today." No, I have not got my glasses on today. I don't think they work, to be honest. I think the guy who measured my eyes didn't give me the right prescription, because they don't seem to make them any better. Quick hello to Vince Evans, who is new today. So to Vince, you are of course very welcome. Anyone else who is new, please do let us know, and we will do our best to make you feel very welcome. Dennis Carlson says that the Bach from Blaenwern has been his favourite video that I put online recently. Only three, I think only 3 people have let me know what their favourite videos are. So this is one of the reasons why I mentioned it. So I tend to put on, Rob Charles has said he likes the Come Sweet Death. Tim Van Elderen, like the Bach from Blaenwern. So I do put on videos during the week. But they don't tend to get as many views for some reason as the live virtual churches that I do. So those people who are subscribed to Beauty and Sound, here's a little trick for you, just a very quick trick, okay? So if you go to the BIS main page on your iPad, or you can do it on your iPhone or your computer, so you've got, whatever you want to do it on. There's a subscribe button here, and I apologise if you know this already, but bear with me just one moment. Make sure you are subscribed. Obviously, you need to be subscribed to BIS, but you have 3 options. Can you just about see that on the camera? You might not be able to see that on the camera, but there are 3. If you press the subscribe button, there's notifications, all, personalised, or none. By default, YouTube will set it to personalised. And you hardly get any notifications. And this is what I think is happening. So if you check it to all, you get all the notifications from Beauty in Sound. But don't worry, because I put on maybe 2 videos a week, perhaps maybe 3 if I'm feeling really, really ambitious and I have lots of time on my hands, which I don't, because I'm doing stuff behind the scenes for BIS. But 2 notifications a week on your phone or your iPad is not a lot, is it? So please do click that. And you can do that to all of your favourite YouTube channels as well. Just make sure you click all, and then you'll see, because I wonder whether actually some of you are just not seeing the videos that I've been putting on during the week. So this is the Fantasia in Fugue in G minor from Blaenwern Cathedral. That's I Vow to Thee My Country. This is a video here that people have mentioned. It's the Come Sweetest Death, or Come Susa Todd by Bach. Rather wonderfully arranged for romantic organ by the wonderful American organist, I want to say French organist, American organist Virgil Fox. There's a video of me playing a school organ where I play a bit of Interstellar interspersed with footage from the film itself, and it is louder than you think, that organ. A bit of V-Door here from Lincoln Cathedral, one of the best organs in the UK. I play the that bit of hornpipe. You get the idea. There's lots of stuff here that goes on during the week, and I get the feeling that a lot of you are missing out on that content because you think I'm a weekend kind of guy, but I'm not. I do stuff during the week as well for you to watch and enjoy. I would say that I spend more time preparing my pre-recorded videos in terms of production, so audio and video editing, than I do these live ones. This is live, this has just happened, and I could sit here and waffle on for ages, but the pre-recorded stuff is thought about, it's as high quality as I can make it for you, so please do click on them. Anyway, enough of that, let's crack on. We've got a couple more. Oh yes, this is another one of my sort of hymns from the depths of the internet. And this one is called, actually rather ironically, Depth of Mercy. To the tune, I think I'm going to do Seymour. So this one hasn't been requested, but I'm just sort of introducing you to new hymns. So Depth of Mercy, can there be mercy still reserved for me? Can my God his wrath forbear? Me, the chief of sinners, spare. Now, coincidentally, actually, the words to this are also by Charles Wesley, as they were in the last hymn. The tune is not by Samuel Sebastian Wesley. It is by Henry Greatorex. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce that surname. Great, as in Great, and then same word, but Orex. Greatore, perhaps. Let's have a go with this hymn. See how we get on with it. Oh, we've got some company in here now, so we can have the party can almost get started. Not yet. Don't get started yet, because this is a sensible part of virtual church. I can see quite a few people who did know that one, which is good. And I can tell you we have had that hymn before on VC, because as I was looking online in the dark corners of the internet for unknown hymns, but good hymns, I clicked the download button, put it into my hymns folder, which then gets synced to the iPad, and it said, do you want to replace the hymn? No, so it was already there. So I have already downloaded it. So someone has requested it already. I can't possibly remember who. Somebody with very good taste, no doubt. So it was Depth of Mercy, can there be mercy still reserved for me? Okay, final hymn before we get into our top 5 tonight. And before we get into our top 5, we have a request from an HT, a heritage listener.
HL.
HL, an HT, yes, an HL, sorry. Definitely goes into the realm belong, an LT, a long-term listener, and heritage listener from Paul Larson. That's great to hear from Paul.
Heritage makes it sound like some kind of cheese or wine, doesn't it?
Ooh. Well, I think people who are heritage listeners deserve to be referred to as a fine wine, a fine cheese. Yes. No, I didn't say anything about it being smelly cheese. I just said it was like a fine cheese.
Someone's come to see you. Well, to see her friends from around the world.
Which one is it?
It's Bobby.
Oh, hey, Bobs. Hey, Bobs. We call her Bobs here, don't we?
She doesn't want to stick around. Are you going to stay on the bench? That's okay.
Okay, so last final hymn before we get into our top 5. But before that, we get into top 5. We'll have an organ piece for Paul Larson. I can't wait to play that for you. I've just realised that there's a bit of a mistake here because this doesn't have the refrain on it, does it? Let me see if the ELW can save me. See if it can come to the rescue. I was going to say that feels very short. There's only 2 lines of music there, and let me see if I can. Oh, thank heavens, it's in here. It's number 789. Thank you, ELW. Thank you. Here we go. It's a different key. Doesn't matter. Let's try again. go. So Saviour, like a shepherd lead us, much we need your tender care. Second time lucky, I'm going to delete this version from the iPad so it doesn't catch me out again. And actually, if I've obviously been caught out before, which I remember that I have, because there are two versions in here. So the title is Saviour, like a shepherd lead us. I've got two versions, one with the English spelling, the correct spelling, and one with the American spelling. So that I'm going to delete. So the one with the English spelling is wrong. So the English spelling has been destined for the bin. There it goes. They cannot catch me out again. So the American spelling rules supreme. Anyway, so that now we can now go into our top 5, which this week has been sent in by a very organised and meticulous listener or viewer, Stephen Mills, or Steve Mills. He's in the chat tonight. I've seen him. So thank you very much, Steve, for your top 5 here and for presenting it in such a clear and beautiful way. It's a shame people can't see it actually. And just like me this evening, Steve dashed back from church so he could be here on time for VC, so he didn't miss it. Every Sunday, Steve, I'm dashing back from church to be here with you guys, which is why sometimes we're a little bit late starting. So Paul Larson has been a member of our community for a very long time, and he was in touch with me just recently, and it was nice to hear from Paul. So Paul is a great fan of Herbert Howells. I mean, he's got great taste, clearly, and he requested that I play a Psalm-Prelude by Howells. Now, I need to write this in because it's actually very bad that I can't remember the verse. I'll tell you what it is because it's good to know what the psalm is. It's from Psalm 37. I know that much, but I need to tell you what the line is. Bear with me a second so I can, because the reason I want to do this is because Howells, like over in the Netherlands, will have organ pieces based on a psalm. So the organist will colour and improvise on text, praise the Lord in his holiness, praise him in the firmament of his power. That's going to be a bright, exciting psalm, a colourful registration. Out of the depths have I cried unto thee, O Lord. Psalm 130. That's going to be a very dark and sort of mysterious sound with this single voice sort of floating above. So it's all about word painting. So Howells did that. He obviously was greatly inspired by Dutch composers, perhaps, maybe he wasn't, but it's on a very similar lines. So these psalm preludes are exactly what they're called. They are preludes on texts of the psalm. So this one I'm going to play now comes from Psalm 37, verse 11. And this is what it is. Just one line, just one verse. But the lowly shall possess the land and shall delight in abundance of peace. I'll say it again. But the lowly shall possess the land and shall delight in abundance of peace. So that is what this entire psalm prelude is based on. So if you perhaps think about those words as I'm playing it, to see how Howells colours it and interprets it, that will really give you a context. And I can see Paul L in the chat. Paul, it's great to have you with us. Paul says, good excuse for string stops. Well, Paul, luckily we have string stops. You can't, they're just off camera, but there are strings just underneath the camera there and some down there as well. I'll try to bring them all together at the relevant point, of course. It's been a while since I played this one, so hopefully I can still do it. Let's have a go. So that was the Psalm-Prelude number 2 from set 1 of 2. So there are 6 psalm preludes in total, and I would like to record them all for Paul in the coming future. In the coming months, should I say, in the foreseeable future, next year, because I know just the organ to use, Paul. It's not quite out yet. I'll leave it there. So that was Psalm 37, verse 11. But the lowly shall possess the land and shall delight in abundance of peace. And you can just imagine peace with that beautiful E flat major chord towards the end. So Paul, thank you very much for your request, and it's good to see you in the chat again. So Paul has been absent from BIS for a while, and Paul will have no idea what an HL is. Paul, do you know what an HL is? Because you are certainly an HL. Okay, so now let's go into our top 5 now. So this comes in from Stephen Mills. From Stephen Mills, this is an opportunity for you to write me a list of top 5 hymns, and I'll basically read your story as well. I like it when you tell me a story behind these hymns. So Stephen says, I have been listening for more than 2 years and have been a Patreon for almost 18 months. Thank you. So for more than 2 years, that's probably a medium-term listener, isn't it? I still love the top 10 that you and Caroline recorded on the old organ. Actually, that video is doing well at the minute. I would say that that's my, aside from the Interstellar video, which is my most popular video at the minute, the hymns that Caroline and I have recorded is our most popular video on BIS. It means a lot to sing. It meant a lot to sing along whilst driving to visit my parents in their nursing home. So, for my first attempt at a top 5, there could be more, of course. Of course, you are limited to 5, but you could go to 10, of course. So, in that list of top 10 hymns that Caroline and I did, you had Drop, Drop, So Tears to the tune Song 46 by Orlando Gibbons. I had not heard these words before, but the tune was familiar and so simple but beautiful. I know the words by Edward Bickersteth as follows. Peace, perfect peace, in this dark world of sin, the blood of Jesus whispers peace within. Verse 2, peace, perfect peace, by thronging duties pressed, to do the will of Jesus, this is the rest. So, number 5 in Stephen's list is the wonderful, gorgeous tune by Orlando Gibbons, Song 46, it's called. And it's the words that I've just said. Go. So that was number 5 in Robert's list. Robert's list. No, it wasn't Robert. Stephen's list. I just saw a donation from Robert, which is why Robert was on my mind. So thank you very much, Robert, for your rousing request of "O Come All Ye Faithful." Give it time. We'll get to "O Come All Ye Faithful" very soon, I promise. With the Wilcox descant. Yes, yes, yes. So, number 2 in Stephen's list. This is a really wonderful list, so you'll enjoy this. Stephen says, now to an old hymn from the US, which I remember loving playing many, many years ago. It happens to be in one of my favourite keys, D flat. Yes. Verses lead up to a heavenly end. However, one of the things that got to me and still does is the chord sequence in the 5th line. The chord sequence in the 5th line, and then Stephen says, tell us what you think. So, nearer, still nearer, close to thy heart, draw me, my Saviour, so precious thou art. Fold me, oh fold me, close to thy breast. Shelter me safe in that haven of rest. Shelter me safe in that haven of rest. The words and music are by Mrs. C.H. Morris. The tune is called Haven of Rest. And Stephen wants us to listen out for this chord sequence towards the end. We are, by the way, in the St. Lambertus Church, Basilica, by Piotr Grabowski, who released this organ only a couple of weeks ago.
I was just going to ask you, I thought it was, because I didn't think you'd had time to change the stops around.
No, and you haven't got the rumsy-ebby ambience either, the noisy ambience.
Oh no, oh look.
That's one way of knowing, isn't it? Who is it? Oh, it's Little Trouble. Hello.
It's Nala.
Oh, you smell cold. Have you been outside?
Yeah, she has.
Have you been out? Look at your face. Look at your face. That was a furious face, that was.
Furious face?
Furious face.
She doesn't look that furious to me.
Well, Jonathan, I can certainly tell you that when people come round, we have to explain why we have this carpet. It certainly is a very unique carpet. It dates from the 1980s, so it is older than me, this carpet. It's definitely older than, well, the house is older than me, so the carpet went in when the house was new. So the carpet would have been made prior to the house being made.
It's a very good
and
quality carpet.
It could have been sat in the warehouse for 2 or 3 years.
It's not really worn, this
it.
carpet. I bet it was a really expensive carpet in its day.
I was just saying that it's older than me.
It's a nightmare, because this is our dining room as well as being a YouTube studio.
They were just saying that.
And Hugo likes to throw his blueberries sometimes at breakfast. And blueberries, you just can't find them. So we either squish them several days later, or trip over them, or...
Don't give everything away.
Well, I'm just saying, it's our life. A lot of the time, Richard and I are on our hands and knees looking for blueberries. Imagine that.
Well, yes, we
shan't
tell them what else we found the other week.
Go between the pedal boards.
We shan't tell them what we found the other day even. Whilst I was eating my porridge. So this next hymn is usually sung to St. Peter. That is, in my experience over many years. Despite my love of that tune, I feel this arrangement by a contemporary composer, Chris Bowater, is a fitting alternative. The words, of course, are by the famous John Newton and are so meaningful and relevant at all times. During COVID, we had to make up recordings, which we did here on BIS, obviously with the BIS choir. In fact, I was listening to that only yesterday. Piecing various contributions together and hopefully having something which people could recognise and sing along to. So, Stephen, if you haven't seen the BIS attempt at doing that, go and check it out. Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of creation, beauty and sound. Type that into Google, into YouTube, I'm sure it'll come up. So he says, I hope you like this alternative arrangement. So the words are, how sweet the name of Jesus sounds in a believer's ear. It soothes his sorrows, heals his wounds, and drives away his fear. We all know those words, of course, but the music we probably won't know.
Oh, Nala.
So, Nala, what's going on? So there are three verses, and I need to squeeze it. So it's like that.
Oh no.
I know.
Do you want me to do it?
No. Definitely not.
Oh,
I know what you're like.
Nala wants to do it.
Let's see if I can.
Oh no.
I might have to bring the music desk forwards so I can actually squint. Okay, let's have a go at this. Nala, you're running away there, dear. Nala, put your tail away, darling. You don't often hear that on YouTube, do you? Nala, put your tail away, darling. That could be our secret code for this week. Leave me a comment on this video. Nala, put your tail away, darling. People who leave me that as a comment on this video will get a cookie. nice tune and a very nice alternative to St. Peter, as Stephen says. So that was the tune there. It was called Rachel, Rachel, and the music is by Chris Bowater. So that, 2 more to go in Stephen's list. So that was number 3, taking us into the top 2, if you like. So it's penultimate hymn.
Before you play the penultimate hymn, there's been a lot of chat about what people might find under their pedal boards. Tim Van Alderen says there are a lot of peanuts.
We're not going to have a prize, are we, for the sort of the weirdest thing found?
There will be blueberries down there. There's no doubt.
Okay.
I'm just, Anyway.
So what was
it you found under the pedal board in Alresford? That was quite. What did you find under there when you took that out?
Can't possibly remember. I have no idea.
Random things. And that was in a church. That wasn't in someone's house where you had a toddler throwing food.
So number 2. So this is the penultimate hymn in Stephen's list. This is what Stephen says. My mother passed into the presence of Jesus at the end of February this year. One of the 5 hymns we had at her Thanksgiving service was, of course, Abide With Me. The singing was fantastic, with around 130 people at the service. Some tenors were really enjoying the top E flat in line 3. Well, I hope it wasn't an early morning service. I hope it was an afternoon service, or late morning at least. Those tenors, they need some warming up before they get up to those top E flats. Then he says, you are so right to point out the triumphal nature of this wonderful hymn, especially in verse 4. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no weight, and tears no bitterness. Where is death's sting? Where, grave, thy victory? I triumph still, if thou abide with me.
Well, Bobby would like to show her appreciation for Abide With Me. Oh no, she wouldn't. She's off.
We definitely do not grieve. This is what Stephen finishes. We definitely do not grieve as those with no hope, as St. Paul reminds us in his letter to the Thessalonians. Okay, so tune, you all know the tune, and it's Eventide. Words are by Henry Francis Lyte. We're all here. Nola's over there. Bob is here. Caroline's here. I'm here. We've got Josh Wilson here. We've got all of you over there. So we've got we've got a full house today. So all friends here at Beauty in Sound. I think Bobby just had wind. Was that you?
No, excuse me, it was Bobby.
Well, something just smelled very strange.
She's also shedding fur over your jacket.
In my Coke as well. I noticed that my glass is now surrounded by cat hair.
She must be losing her summer coat because there's quite a lot coming off her.
It is cold outside. It's not summer anymore, is it?
No, but why would you lose fur when it's cold? It must be her summer coat.
Don't know. Ask her. You told me that she doesn't lose her fur because she's not that sort of cat like Nala. But she's certainly losing a lot of hair around the organ now. It's floating around. So abide with me. And let's all bear in mind Stephen's mother, who passed away in February of this year. And this hymn was sung by some very ambitious tenors. And if you're a tenor, I can only imagine you singing with your headphones on and amusing all the neighbours. Let's have a go with this. So that was number 2 in Stephen's list. Always a bit of a tearjerker, but
this is a good list, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if played in a positive way, as Marcus has just said, this is a glorious hymn, and with such an optimistic hymn played in the right hands. I think you're absolutely right. I think it can be a very optimistic hymn if played in a certain way. It can be a very upsetting and depressing hymn as well, played in a certain way. But I think played like that, it has a positive feeling.
There's a lot of tenor jokes in the chat.
Go on.
Richard used to be a tenor, but now he's a fiver.
Yes, exactly. I can't afford to be a tenor.
I don't know that would be funny in America, would it? Because they don't call tenors and fivers, do they?
Do they not call a $10 a tenor?
That's what you call a British.
A tenor, a fiver.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so actually, this next one. 4 verses.
Oh, we've already done it.
There's an interesting verse there, number 2.
You've already played this, haven't you?
I have, yes, but it doesn't matter. I played it in the correct key.
Yeah, you played it in F major earlier. I was shocked. And then I thought you were going to do the James O'Donnell descant, and you didn't.
Well, I did do his harmony.
Yeah, but you didn't do the brilliant passing note in the descant, which I was waiting for, the flattened 7th.
Oh dear.
Which I normally play. Why don't we do it now? Where's the book?
Well, because we...
it's right here, look. Come on, let's do it. I can play my flattened 7th.
Can I talk, please?
You can now.
What's all this talking over, everyone? My top choice for this...
At least Craig's amused. Maybe he's amused, I don't know. He's laughing at something.
Encourage her. Yeah. Ready? Can I talk? My top choice for this top 5 is a Charles Wesley favourite. Well, we've had Charles Wesley tonight already. It also appeared in your top 10 from 2 years ago. Yes, we all know it's one of my favourites. I was educated at what was then known as Lewis Grammar School Grammar School for Boys, or maybe that's Lewes. The school has a chapel built in memory of former pupils who gave their lives in World War II. It has a lovely organ built by William Hill, built in 1874, and that is where my love of pipe organs began. With no formal training, I used to sneak in and play it whenever I could. On the last day of school, the final hymn of the morning assembly was announced, but the organist was absent for some reason. I can see what's coming here. The organist was absent for some reason. Sounds a bit suspicious there, Stephen. I swiftly got on the organ bench and led the singing of this wonderful hymn. Happy memories. Not so for the organist, who was locked in the cupboard. It was written in A flat all those years ago. Ooh. Top Fs are not popular today. Just ask the tenors. However, we must not forget the words and music combination, especially the last verse. So what is it? Well, it's love divine and love's excelling. Joy of heaven to earth come down. Fix in us thy humble dwelling. All thy faithful mercies crown. Now, there are actually 4 verses here. We don't often have the 4th verse. The 4th verse is correct, but the verse 2 here is breathe, O breathe thy loving spirit into every troubled breast. Let us all in thee inherit. Let us find the promised rest. Take away our love of sinning. Alpha and Omega be. End of faith as its beginning. Set our hearts at liberty. There we go. So I think we ought to. Do you want to do this version again then?
Why not? Well, because you've already played it tonight.
Well, because I've already done it tonight, this version.
No, but you didn't play the flattened 7th.
What flattened 7th?
The descant.
Well, you can't do it all, you know.
No, you missed out a key note.
No, you can't do everything all the time, because then next time we do it, it's even better.
Oh, and that's right now. for this number 1 hymn in his top 5.
Okay, well, this is
with a flattened 7th.
It is a good hymn to be number 1. I would concur that this is a number 1 worthy hymn, definitely. So, Steve, thank you for your list, and thank you for writing a wonderful story about all of the pieces. So,
are you doing 4 verses?
Yes.
So I can go on strike then.
Do the 4th verse. I want to do, yes, absolutely. Go on strike. No, you have to focus and concentrate. I need no striking. You need to be on it and focusing.
I've got to look at the list to go after this hymn.
Yes. Yeah, don't forget about that. Okay, let's go. good to see that the chief producer here, was not even on it and completely missed the last verse.
That's because I was just writing in the chat. The new psalm is Dusseldorf, St. Lambertus, with the German umlaut.
You even had 3 verses before getting into the 4th verse.
I was typing the word Dusseldorf when you said, get over here.
You had an extra verse to get into it, but you still missed it. It's a problem with this one.
She gets distracted so easily. I didn't miss my flattened 7th.
So anyway, thank you very much, Stephen, for sending through the top 5. It's always good to hear a story from you. So if you want to follow in Stephen's footsteps, you'll be entering into a very long line of established top 5s, which we've been doing for probably nearly over a year now, actually. But it's a really good way for us to get to know each other. So we now need to have more people sending them in. So Garrett, I can see you. I don't know whether you've sent me one. Ian Garden, I don't think you've sent me one either.
Yes, he has, because it had Magnificat, do, 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 do,
I stand
the
corrected.
Song of Mary, and you didn't want to play it,
John
and I
Marshall,
made you.
get them sent in. Philip Scott, Richard Sedding, has Richard Sedding sent one in?
I'm not
sure.
So.
Old and Slow.
Oh yeah, Old and Slow. We're looking at you, Old and Slow. You're a heritage listener.
You need to send one in as well.
You're a covert heritage listener.
All these people who are chatting away. Sean Pierce. Merv Whitney. These people can send in top 5s, and it's a way for us to get to know each other.
Ian Garden, I remember everything. Well, not quite. But I remember that Eleanor Hart, the heritage listener,
heretic listener,
was a crematorium organist, and you'd forgotten that. But then you're too busy playing the hymns, aren't you? All I have to do is watch the chat.
Yes, I don't get to chant. I'm not faffing around watching the chat and doing nothing else. I'm playing the hymns.
So, moving swiftly on then, before you accuse me of dithering, the next request is for Thomas Moronta.
Thomas Moronta,
in remembrance
last
of
week's
the
top 5.
Yes, exactly. Hello, Thomas. In remembrance of the 60th anniversary of the passing of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy on the 22nd, Holy God, we praise thy name was the recessional hymn.
What's the anniversary?
60th.
To the day?
It would be the 22nd, yeah. On the 22nd, it will be. So what's the date today? 19th, so it's going to be this week.
Oh, yeah. Well, Garrett says maybe he's sending the second top 5. Well, maybe Garrett's
Garrett's top 5 had the plain chant in, so you featured me for a change. Do you remember that? It was the thing I did when Marco was here.
What?
The plain chant. Which one was it? Salve Regina.
Don't start singing.
That one.
Don't sing now. You haven't got any echo on you. So this is for JFK, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
In remembrance of the 60th anniversary of the passing of JFK, which will be on the 22nd. And
Great.
this was the recessional.
Okay. Let's do that. Great idea, Thomas. What a great idea. Here we go. Let's get some stops ready. So I'm going to, for those people who haven't heard me say this before, the top manual up here, which you can't quite see on the camera, but the top manual is the choir organ. There were two organs in this church, the choir organ and main organ. The main organ is on the west wall. I think it's the west. I don't know. It's the back of the nave, and the choir organ is all the way up near the choir stalls. 2 separate organs, but playable from the same console. When I'm playing my top manual, that's the choir organ, and then everything else is the main organ. I'm going to do, and the reason I'm telling you that is because verse 1, I'm going to have the tune on the choir organ, and then everything else, well, will be accompanied on the main organ. Let's see how that sounds. Hopefully that'll work. ever etched on my memory now with that hymn is a television series called Midnight Mass. And those people who've seen that will agree with me when I say it's quite something. They sing that hymn. It's a very powerful scene in the series. It's a very good series, actually, very powerful, and it's all about, I guess, people just following something because they're told it's something good, and they don't necessarily believe it, but they just go along with it. There's a lot of sort of you can draw lots of parallels between it and in real life. And there's a scene. So do you remember that, the scene in Midnight Mass when they sang that?
Oh yes.
Oh,
is that when they did the
don't give it to don't
procession?
keep your spoilers to yourself. But yes, it is.
What?
There is a procession.
Parallel with real life? It's not very realistic.
Well, you didn't hear what I said before that?
No, I didn't.
I was saying the fact that people join that religion, but they can join a cult. They can be told something. They can believe it. They can become to believe it, even though it might not be true.
Right.
It just becomes, people just follow people and just go with what people are doing. And there's a lot of parallels in that program. I think that the whole point of that program is people don't necessarily want to join up to this thing that they're joining up to, but because everyone else is doing it, they just do it. Yeah, so it's quite a powerful program. I'm sure people have seen it. Anyway, so let's go into now a request which came in from Mr. Solarski. And was it the usual tune?
Not that one. All Creatures of Our God and King.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, he did request two, but All Creatures is the one. Well, which one you want to play first? Play All Creatures first.
Well, this is the one that we've queued up. Yeah.
Yeah. All Creatures of Our God and King. There's only one tune, isn't there? Or maybe there is another one, but I don't know it.
No, I don't think there's. There can't possibly be another tune to this. Surely, it's one of those. It's just like, no, there can't be.
So this is one of his all-time favourites.
This is number one in Robert Solarski's top 5, is it?
Well, he's given 2 hymns, and
I think Mr. Solarski should give us a top 5. I know, Robert, you did give us one a while ago, but I think you should give us another top 5. And we'll do that for you. Get one sent in. Let's have a go with this then. All Creatures of Our God and King.
So Bobby wished to come and be the representative of all creatures of our God and King.
Bobby is representing all creatures, are you?
Yes. She could have volunteered a mouse as well, but I told her just to come as she was.
Yeah, she looks rather happy on you there. So you're representing all creatures, are you, Bobby? Oh my goodness, I don't know whether all creatures would be trusted under your leadership, Bobs. What do you think? Hey?
Oh, she's getting down. She's finished the hymn and now she's retreating. Right, next up. This is a first-time listener. Hello to Vince Evans. Hello, Vince. There he is.
An FTL.
+1 Atlanta, GA, USA.
Hello,
Atlanta,
Vince.
Georgia.
A first-time listener. Oh, you're okay.
I've been to Atlanta, but only to the airport.
It's middle of the day for you at the minute. FTL, first-time listener. Great to have you with us,
Welcome, Vince. So he has requested one of my favourites, which was in my top 10, which we did from Arundel Cathedral, which is "O Praise Ye the Lord, Praise Him in the Height," Laudate Dominum by Parry. Charles Hubert Hastings Parry.
C.H.H. Parry. Sir Charles.
Sir Charles.
Yes.
What a great hymn this is.
It is. It certainly keeps the pedal feet busy in the final verse. Is it that one? Is this the correct one, is it?
Yeah, of course. And we'll have to do a pedal cam.
It's not on here, actually. I need to
let's find the NEH.
resort to...
Oh.
No, it's in Common Praise.
Well, why haven't you got the NEH?
I don't know.
Poor old NEH. It's about to become a relic. They say the new one is coming at the end of the month.
It's meant to be coming this month, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got your pre-ordered copy on its way.
We need to get it here to BIS very soon because we're going to do something very special when it arrives, if it ever arrives. So stay tuned for that.
5, 4, 3. In this hymn book. Oh look, King's Fold. That's another one of my favourites.
Don't get distracted with the other hymns.
There we are.
You got it? There it is. Loud organs, His glory, forth in deep tone.
Oh, and did you see? She has. I'm assuming it's a she. She hasn't requested a hymn, but you've got a listener called Mary Cat in Canada. Love this one. Thank you. Enjoying the stream. I have 5 cats. Get used to the cat hairs, lol.
Oh, we're very used to cat hairs everywhere. Very used to them. I also like that you've got a cat emoji in your screen name. That's classic.
That's cat-tastic.
Brendan, we're not using Romsey this week. Actually, we are using the new one by Piotr Grabowski. It's St. Lambertus in Dusseldorf in Germany. Riga organ, but we'll be back to Romsey very soon because I'm updating it, so I need to show you the update. Okay, so "O praise ye the Lord, praise him in the height." There we go. So wonderful hymn. I haven't had that
Amen.
I haven't had that for a while. Oh, indeed. But the congregation at that point have no idea what to do because it's not in the music. Some of them stop singing. Some of them just don't have a clue. What's this?
Right, up next from Knick Knack. Good evening, Richard. Please could you play Soldiers of Christ Arise to the tune From Strength to Strength by Edward Naylor. We had it as our first hymn this morning. It's a blast. Thanks, smiley face.
It's a blast, is it?
A blast.
Okay, let's just get the tempo right. Okay, well, who was this? Sorry, Knick Knack?
Knick Knack.
Great. So, and where does Knick Knack go to church? In which town or city? Don't need to have a church, but whereabouts are we in the world? Don't give your location away, Knick Knack, but just give a general area would be good. Well, as Knick Knack says, that was a blast. It is. Another one by Charles Wesley. Words by Charles Wesley, tuned by Edward Woodall Naylor. So we've had a lot of Charles Wesley tonight, haven't we?
I need to go. But the second one is Thomas Bronte's second hymn in honour of our national holiday, Thanksgiving Day on the 23rd. Now thank you all our God. It's right there.
Oh.
Sorry. Got to dash.
No worries. You dash. You dash, I'll play. I'll dash through these hymns. Now thank we all our God. God. What's God? It's very American, isn't it? Is it? No. Now thank we all our God is what I tried to say, but my mouth wasn't in the right position, in the right shape. Nun dankatale got, there it is. I think, has Mr. Rawsthorne done anything with this? I think he has. Nun dankat allegat. Nun dankat. Let's have a look, see what he's done. Thank you very much, Sean, and thank you very much to everyone else who has been generous tonight. Your donations are very welcome. They will help with the music room, which fingers crossed is coming next year. And we'll be doing lots of celebrations around the music room when that's eventually built and opened. Live audience, so if you're in the Hampshire area, Or, of course, no matter where you are, you might be getting an invitation to come and experience virtual church and experience the BIS organ in real life. That's one of the main reasons for designing the music room the way we're designing it, is to have people in there with me. So that would be amazing fun to have it really live. And you can see what happens behind the scenes, of course. So that's hopefully next year. Josh, you'd be very welcome. Anyone. Well, not anyone. As long as you're not odd. You need to have a questionnaire, some sort of exam, to make sure you're not an odd bod. Because as I say, you have to leave that to me. I'm the odd bod. You have to leave that to me. But in all seriousness, it's going to be a live audience, so people sat behind me and maybe even singing. We'll have a BIS hymnal handed out, and people will be able to join in live. But we need to get it first. We need to get it built first and paid for, of course. Building extensions is not an easy thing, but it's a big project, which I think we can get there. Okay, now thank we all our God, one of my favourite hymns. Harmonised by Mendelssohn, of course. I was actually very amused by what you think that beeping is. A lot of you said the oven's done, food's ready. No such luck, I'm afraid. No food here. But Josh, as always, is right on the money. on the ball. It is one of the baby monitors, battery going flat. It's a very irritating sound actually, because battery doesn't last 10 minutes and it goes flat and it just always beeps, and it's always at the other end of the room. And it's like, oh, you get it, your turn to get it. Beep, beep. Anyway, so thank you. That was now thank we all our God.
So next up is Robert Salaski's second request, not the Christmas request, but another one of his all-time favourites, "O Worship the King," which seems like a good, for Thanksgiving as well. Yep. So we'll have 2 Thanksgiving type hymns now. Good chappy, just made me laugh. My penalty for saying bum. He said he enjoyed your bum note. Which hymn was it? It was All Creatures of Our God and Kings. Bobby was there. And you blamed it on Bobby, putting you off.
Nothing to do with me.
Poor Bobby. What's she done to deserve that?
Well, she was...
You have to take ownership of your bum notes and not blame it on Bobby.
The paws were getting all over the place. Paws were on the keyboard.
And then someone said, I think it might have been Doug, said blame it on Nala. At least Nala wasn't there to defend herself.
Right, so Robert's second request. Robert's been very generous tonight, so of course we'll have to give Robert as many requests as he likes. So, "O worship the King, O glorious above, O gratefully sing God's power and love," to the tune Hanover by William Croft, and the words are by Robert Grant. 4 verses of "O worship the King." Okay, let's go. Look, we've got Ferrari in.
Oh yeah, Forza Ferrari.
Forza, not Gran Turismo Ferrari.
Forza Ferrari. That's what all the Formula One tifosi say, isn't it? Tifosi. Are you impressed with my knowledge? They call themselves the Tifosi, the Ferrari fans.
I don't know. I have no idea.
They do.
Tifosi?
The Ferrari fans, fans of the Ferrari Formula
One.
Fanatical fans.
Team lead.
No, Tifosi are what the fans call themselves,
Why?
like the supporters.
Oh, right.
As a collective. Why? I don't know, it's an Italian word, I don't know.
For?
The Tifosi, a gaggle of Ferrari fans.
A gaggle
like
of Ferrari
you're a member,
fans.
like it's not, I'm not a member of the mafia, I'm a member of the Tifosi. I'm a Ferrari fan.
Okay.
He'll know.
Who's he? Oh,
Forza
Ferrari.
He'll know. Now, the next request, we're not going to play this one because we've already played it tonight, but thank you for the kind donation and sponsorship. So, Brady Kilman requested Abide With Me, and James Palmer sponsored it for £5. So thank you very much both, but we have already played Abide With Me tonight.
We did, it was in the top 5 tonight.
Exactly, so we're not going to play that again, but thank you very much for your donation, James, on behalf of Brady. Moving on then, Amazing Grace. Robert Slasky, I think we're going to wait for Christmas just a little while longer if you can hang on.
I think we should, because it's going to be worth it.
And we'll have to play Helmsley first. I think the great unveiling is Advent, isn't it? We have the Advent bangers, and then we go on to the
Advent bangers.
Christmas carols. So we do Advent in a big way here on BAS, and then we move on to Christmas. And when we do Christmas, we really do it. So.
Do.
So
right, so I'm going to give people a sneak peek of, I don't know where on earth it's gone.
Oh, your new book.
There it is. Right, so I've got a new book coming out. It's the organ composition competition, winners and runners up, runners uppers. Of which there were 19 in total. So I'm going to play. One of the submissions that we had was on Amazing Grace. And it's called A Prelude on New Britain, which is a tune, and it's by Christopher Hoch, H-O-H. And it didn't make the live broadcast, but it did make the final cut. So there are various pieces which didn't make the live broadcast. But I just thought I'd give you a sneak peek of something that didn't quite make it into the final, but you'll be able to play if you get this new book coming soon. This is it in its draft form. So this is on page, oh heavens above, what page is this on? I'll tell you what, guys, look, it's on page, don't know, where are we? 29 of 110 pages. That's a lot. 29. Okay, so let's get the beautiful favourite stuff on this organ, the cornet, fired up, and that'll probably do, and some choir stops to accompany. Yep. Okay, so this is the Prelude on New Britain by Christopher Hoch in the forthcoming BIS organ book. So that was just one of the pieces which didn't make the live broadcast, but I put it through into the final, if you like, because it's obviously in a well-known tune. It's playable, so it's not that difficult to play. And of course, the harmonies in there are quite interesting, so it actually has some interest in it, and I think it's a fresh look at this well-known tune because it ends on a sort of a bright foundations and mixtures sort of sound rather than ending very quietly, as you might expect it to do. It just gives you a little bit of a fresh look at it. So that's just one of the 19 pieces appearing in the BIS organ book, which will be available by Christmas. If it's not available in the hard copy, it will be definitely be available as a PDF download for Christmas. Okay, so any more hymns to play?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem? Well, I better have that, hadn't we? Who's that for?
Doc Bower.
Doc Bower?
He just says a short note, "May I request Jerusalem?" ? Of course you may. Always happy to play Jerusalem.
Are you? Well, feel free.
Richard is. BIS
if you want to hop on, you'd be more than welcome to.
I can't play Jerusalem. Bobby could play it better than I could.
Well, what makes you think I can play it?
Well, I've heard you play it before.
Yeah. Okay, well, so this is for Doc Bower, you say?
Doc Bower.
And then we'll have the organ voluntary, shall we?
Well,
been going for
actually, we've got a little bit of Purcell to find for Tim Carrington, which I'm just finding for you because surely it's free access. When I'm Laid in Earth, Dido's Lament. I'm just trying to find it for you in a decent score.
Please do.
And then we'll have a voluntary.
Okay. Just because it's Tim. And Tim likes Porsches.
Oh, gosh. introduction.
I'm just happy that Thomas has actually used the phrase full tilt. That's a great phrase. I like that. I bet you've never heard of that one, have you?
No.
No, you're too old school for that. Full tilt means full send. Send it, full. Go for it. Yes, absolutely. Hands it up to full, to maximum, full tilt. That's what it means. Isn't it? It's like it's a great saying. It's what the kids say today. The youth say full tilt.
Full
send.
tilt.
Full send as well. That's a good one. I've used that phrase in one of my videos once. I forget which one it was, but I haven't used full tilt. I'll have to use that.
Thank you very much to Glenn and Sean and Good Chappie and everyone else who has donated tonight.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Those of you who donated without necessarily requesting anything, we appreciate
it's
you
this
all
one.
very much.
You did this. You've got a better score, haven't you? That looks all a bit in the wrong key.
I haven't.
Is it not?
I mean, I had to find it really quickly, and I can get you the full.
You've had all week to find it.
I can get you the full orchestral reduction if you want. No, full orchestral version if you want. But
isn't your score on the shelf upstairs?
I figured no, not Dido and Aeneas.
Okay.
I've got some Purcell book, but I don't think it's got this one in, has it? Oh, I'll go and look. Why don't you play Melita, Marcus? He hasn't requested, but we'll play Melita while I look for it. Have a look. Because everyone loves Melita.
Philip Scott, that sounds odd. But I've got kids, so I've got to be down with the kids. You've got to be down with them, haven't you? You've got to talk their language somehow. No, Tim, we're going to play it. I think she's got a better copy upstairs. I think she has. I think I've seen it in her book, but I might have been imagining it. So it's called Dido's Lament, all right, and this comes from the Dido and Aeneas. Is it in there?
I'm looking. I don't think it is.
When I am laid in earth.
I don't think it's in here.
Yeah, but I've seen it somewhere.
It's not. It's not in these. I think you're going to have to just. No, it's not.
Well, that's fine. I can play from here. Don't worry.
Afraid not. You're lucky I didn't give you the full orchestral score.
I am very lucky.
Then you would have been score reading at nearly 11 o'clock at night.
Very lucky.
You are fortunate.
Come on, let's get on with this then. See how we go. that was from Dido and Aeneas by Henry Purcell, and it comes from the aria When I Am Laid in Earth, and that was requested by Tim Carrington. No, Daniel, we're going to have the voluntary now. Actually, we're going to have some Bach. I think this organ does Bach particularly well, I would say, over everything. So it's going to be the Toccata in C major, BWV 564. It's from the Toccata, Adagio and Fugue. I'll only play the Toccata today, and perhaps I'll play the Adagio. Well, I've played the Adagio a few times on BIS because it is beautiful. The Adagio is the one, the gorgeous. I'll just leave you, I'll sort of tease you with it. It's the one that does this, you know. It's that one. But the Toccata, which precedes it, goes like this. I hope you've all enjoyed Virtual Church. Don't go anywhere, and I'll see you in a moment. That's a stunning piece, that, isn't it? And then it goes on to this. And then it goes on to this, which you've heard me play before. Such a good fugue, this. Very hard. Such a good. I'm going to play that once on BIS, and I must play that again. It's not the sort of piece that is really under the fingers. I really must play that again. It's such fun. Right, well, there we go. So that was Virtual Church this week, brought to you by your friends here at Beauty and Sound. Of course, I've been Richard, you've got Caroline, Bobby and Nala, who are
Nala's here.
Nowhere to be seen. Oh, Nala, don't disturb her. She's on her beanbag.
No, she's fine.
No, she's on her bean. Oh no!
No,
she was in a slumber on her beanbag.
No, she wasn't. She was washing her leg.
Washing her leg.
She was cleaning her leg.
She was settling down for a nice nap, weren't you, darling?
No, she's fine. Look, she's happy. Look.
I'm thinking, of course, I'm terrible at remembering to say thank you to the producers. So a huge thank you to Josh Wilson tonight.
Josh was the #1 tonight.
Yep, Josh, and of course for the previous weeks we've had James Palmer as well. Josh and James do a fabulous job at keeping an eye on things.
Oh, while you were playing, I invited them over to the new music room when it arrives for a producers' party. Let's see if Josh gets on that plane.
Yeah, yes.
He's got a bit further to travel than James.
A little bit, to be fair.
Yeah, they've been invited.
Josh will have to set off in advance of James. I think James could basically walk here, and Josh could get on the plane. They'll probably get here at the same sort of time. But thank you very much to those, and of course thank you very much to the people who've donated tonight very generously. Good chappie just gave me £20 for saying bum in virtual church.
You played a bum note, which I laughed at.
Well, I'll tell you what, if that gets people giving me £20, I'll play more bum notes. We can do a Les Dawson version of VC.
Vince Evans, hello Vince, welcome. I hope you come again next week.
And everyone else who is new today, Vince, welcome. And anyone else who is listening for the first time today, Vince, it won't be long until you're promoted into the medium-term listenership. You are, of course, a new...
Like a maturing cheese.
A first list. Yeah, you came up with that. You then proceeded to call everyone smelly cheese. That wasn't what I meant at all. It was like a vintage cheese, of quality. Heritage. And you can see that as Gregory Potter and Daniel, they have 5 and 4, so they've been a member of BIS for a long time. Anyway, so until next week, I'm hopefully going to put something very special on BIS next week. And as I mentioned earlier on in the stream, please keep an eye out for my uploads during the week. Click that subscribe button. Even if you are subscribed, click the subscribe button and change the notifications to all.
Click the bell.
Yeah, that's what it means. Click the bell.
It's all about the bell.
Because and I promise you won't be bombarded.
Ding dong. There's no bell on this organ, is there? Shame.
No, there isn't.
We need
so,
Blackburn.
See you in the coming days. Bye-bye, everyone. You take care and you stay safe.
Cheerio.
Look at where else to get this on YouTube? You don't. Hey Nala, hey?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.